frankincense, also coiled.
Coiled. Do you know what it's called? Oil baranum. I think that's oil barnum. I think that's like the Latin name for it or something.
Anyway, it's an aromatic resin. It's obtained from trees, commonly used in incense and perfumes.
And joining us on the show is Shahbaz Khan from the only frankincense store in the world.
In the world.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
I mean, you're in Camden?
That's right.
It's the only one of its kind in the whole world.
It is the only one. It is something that's a very unique concept.
Wow. Look, first of all, let's just go back a little because we're arguing about the kings and the magi and the queens and all that. What was the true story again? Or what was the story?
I mean, it was the story of the Magi, and they were like astrologers, and they knew about the coming of Jesus. It can be something that you can argue over with kings, magicians, astrologers. Wise men. I'm sure there were wise men to understand what was going on. That
there must be wise.
Jesus.
Frankincense. Why frankincense? What's so special about this?
Frankincense. It dates back. It goes back way back to before 5,000 years. It's been used by all the major religions. It is one of the smoke. Traditionally, they say it reaches the heavens and spiritually has a huge effect on the mind, on the body, on the spirit. Wow. It purifies the atmosphere. So the benefits of frankincense are huge. When one starts to look into frankincense and starts to realize the different countries frankincense is from and the benefits of each grade and resin, then you would understand that what frankincense has brought to the world, and it has brought a lot of healing, calmness in one's mind. And I think Allah has made it to as an assist us in our way of life, in some respects.
We've got a selection of it here on our table. I think our cameraman could get a shot of that in a second. So if we start with the one in the middle, they're like the biggest lumps, and they're like, yeah, I suppose they're
the biggest lumps.
Yeah, those
I don't think you call them lumps, do you? What do you call them?
Resin teardrops.
You see,
in some cultures they actually call it tears of God. In some cultures, because the resins actually come out in a teardrop.
Really?
So tell us about, so that we saw those first ones, and we've also got some dark ones that look kind of blackish, and then you've got these green ones over here. I mean, is it just that they come from different plants? I mean, where do you get frankincense from?
There's quite a few countries that produce frankincense. Most people know about frankincense coming from Somalia. Ethiopia is one of the major ones that's used in the churches, Boswellia papyrifera. So all this region, the southern Arabia, the Horn of Africa, northern Kenya, Yemen, Oman, and some parts of India all produce frankincense.
And are they all from the same plant? Or
same
different
tree, Boswellia olibanum. I heard you saying the word olibanum.
I tried to say it.
Yeah, the scientific
what you said. So, look, I'm assuming the green ones are most expensive because there's only 2 lumps of them.
That's right. I'm going to be totally honest. I've just literally come back from Oman and there was no green at all. That's my last piece of green.
And is that expensive? Is that why it's not there? Is it the most popular? What is it?
It is. This is what you would use for medicinal purposes. One would boil it, drink it for medicinal use.
So frankincense is more than just a smell. It's more than a perfume.
Much more than a perfume. It's there to heal, to purify the mind, calm the mind. You can boil and drink it for purifying the blood cells. People are using it now to treat their cancer cells because it actually purifies your DNA cells. So when it purifies, it purifies the atmosphere when you burn it for negative energies, bad spirits. It cleanses it. It helps your sinuses. It opens up your state of awareness, so you're more in. You're more aware. You're more conscious.
You're more alert.
More alert.
I was going to say there must be something in it because people have been used, as you said, for thousands of years.
Right.
It's used across almost all cultures and backgrounds, different religions, and it is mentioned it's mentioned by the Prophet Muhammad. And I know you've got a quote there. You've tucked away behind. You've got your iPad, haven't you? And there's a quote there you have, isn't there? The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, saying something.
Yeah. See, the quote is not directly about frankincense. See, what it is with frankincense is mentioned in the Bible. It's mentioned in the Old Testament. Now, with the Quran, frankincense is not directly mentioned. However, with the Quran and in Islam, we do respect all the prophets that have been brought to mankind to direct us about the oneness of Allah and to share this knowledge. So, if we look back at King Solomon, peace be upon him, he used frankincense every single day in his temple. And he was one that knew about magic. He had the control over the jinns, the world, the winds. The creatures, he could speak to them. So frankincense was used heavily in his temple. Then we look at the story of Jesus, peace be upon him too, and the 3 wise men, magi.
Kings.
The 3 kings actually came and gave these gifts. So there's a lot of significance.
So what
in
is
these gifts.
What you said is mentioned somewhere?
So if we look at if you look at Surah Fajr, the sixth verse, it talks about the city of Ad. And the city of Ad is located between Yemen and Oman. And I believe this is the Dhofar region of Oman. Now, historically, this was one of the most beautiful places on earth in the desert. They had water fountains and beautiful trees and the best buildings. But what happened, the people at the time, and it was one of the largest frankincense trade areas at the time. And then what happened, the Prophet Hud was sent to these people to guide them and tell them about the oneness of Allah, because there's a lot of idol worshipping at the time. But frankincense was used heavily there. And the city of Ad is mentioned in the Quran.
Yes, it is,
and I think they're actually excavating this area, and recently it has been found.
So there's that link in it.
The link is there.
You're talking that...
And so it's one more thing. The Prophet Muhammad, he also made a dua to the people of Oman. And what happened, he sent one of his delegates, Amr ibn al-Sad al-As, in 630 AD. And the Prophet immortalized them in his prayer. And he said, "Oh Allah, be merciful with the people of Gubayra, which is Oman. They had faith without seeing me." So the Prophet also prayed for the Omani people, saying, "Oh Allah, lead them. Oh Allah, give them decency, the best in life, and let them be satisfied with their destiny. Oh Allah, give them provisions in abundance, give them wealth from their sea, and do not allow any enemy to dominate them." So from this dua, we can see, why has Oman got the best frankincense in the world? From the dua. You know, everything connects. And we must see not the fact that frankincense is not mentioned in the Quran, but we must kind of connect everything.
This area was
connect the knowledge and see that from
you mentioned
prayer,
earlier that it wasn't just for the perfume, the smell, but it's also consumed. And we've got some gum here, believe it or not.
That's
chewing
right.
gum.
This one actually is from Somalia. It's known as maybe Boswellia freriana.
Okay.
You don't actually burn it. This is good for digestion. Okay. You can use it for
big lump or little lump? He's going to try it.
If you try a big lump, you'll be chewing it for quite some time, but go for it.
OK, well, I'm going to try mine. Here he is. I'm going to try it after the break, I think, because I'm going to...
It's really good for if you've got ulcers.
Well, look, it doesn't really have a flavour.
Yeah, this is no flavour. This is raw gum from the tree into the packet.
Well, look, Shabazz, stay with us.
Can I get some water?
I'm going to let Naeem carry on.
In
I'll do your bit, actually. I'll introduce... Look, it is time for us to go to our next break of the evening.